Hello everyone. So today we will be doing our test 3 from official GRE Quantitative Reasoning practice question, and my name is Mohammed Rafay Sohail. So for our first question, quantity A is y and quantity B is -5, and we know that y is less than -6. So if we have -5, -6, then y would be either it can be -7, it can be -8, or anything less than -6. It can also be -6.5. So a negative number, so -8 is less than -7, -7 is less than -6. So any number that is less than -6, so let's suppose over here we have -6 and we have -5 over here, then -5 is definitely greater than -6. Hence option B is correct. Question 2, the median of the 5 integers 23, 24, 26, 27, and x. And we know that x is an integer between 27 and 23. So x can be 24. It should be greater than 23. It should be 25. It can also be 26. And it's an integer. So integers are whole numbers. Now we have these 5 data sets. So we have these 5 integers. So 23, 24, 26, 27. Now x can be either 24, 25, or 26. So we have 5 integers. So what will be the median? So median would be 5 plus 1 divided by 2, that is 3. So the third number would be the median. So let's suppose if we have 24, so 24 will come over here. So the third number over here would be 24. So the median can be 24. Now let's suppose we have 25 as our x. So 25 would be also over here. So 1, 2, 3. So median can be 25. And if it is 26, so we can have 26 over here. So the third number again would be 1, 2, 3. And we have 2, 26. So 1, 2, 3. The third number can also be 26. So we are not sure whether quantity A is more or less than 25. So option D is correct. Question 3, r and t are consecutive integers and p equals to r squared plus t. Now we have this number -1 raised to power p. Now if p is an even number, then -1 raised to power even number is always a positive number. And if -1 raised to power p and p is an odd number, then this will be a negative number. So if -1 raised to power any even number, this would be +1. -1 raised to power an odd number will be -1. We need to just find out whether this p is odd or even. Now, let's suppose there are 2 consecutive integers. So let's suppose we take -1 and 0, 0, 1, 1 and 2. So if it is -1 and 0, then p would be -1 squared plus 0, that is 1, +1. P can be, now let's take 0. So this would be 0 squared plus 1. This will also be +1. And p equals to 1 squared plus 2. This will be +3. Now, if you look closely, all of them are odd numbers. Even if you take 2 and 3. So p would be equal to 4 plus 3, that is 7. So whatever number we take, whatever 2 consecutive numbers we take, this equation r squared plus t will going to give you an odd number. So -1 raised to power an odd number will going to give you -1. So -1 equals to -1. Hence option C is correct. Question 4. So f x plus 3 divided by 2 equals to 3x squared minus x plus 5. And we know that f function over here within the bracket we have 4. So this should be equal to 4. X plus 3 divided by 2 should be equal to 4. And we get x plus 3 equals to 8, x equals to 5. And if we substitute 5 over here, this would be 3, 5 squared. Minus 5 plus 5, both of them cancels out, and we get 3 into 25. That is 75. So quantity A is equal to quantity B. Hence option C is correct. Question 5. So the sum of the annual salaries of 21 teachers at school X is 781,200. Now we have 21 students. So we have 21 students over here. Now 12 of the 21 12 of the 20, sorry, we have not students, we have teachers. So the sum of the annual salaries of the 21 teachers at school X is 781,200. Now 12 of the 21 teachers have the annual salary that is less than 37,000. Now what will be the median number? We have total 21. So 21 plus 1 divided by 2 is 22 divided by 2, that is 11. So the median number would be 11. So this would be your median number. So the 11th student is your median number. So the sum of the annual salaries of the 21 teachers are 781,200. Now let's read quantity A. What quantity A is? The average arithmetic of the annual salaries of the teachers at school X. So 781,000 divided by 200. 781,200 divided by 21 gives us 37,200. And we also know that 12 of the 21 teachers, so 12 of the 21 teachers, so these are your 12 teachers, all of them have a salary that is less than 37,000. So the mean is 37,200. Now the median of the annual salaries of the teachers at school X. Now 11th teacher will be having the median. Now if 12 of them have a salary less than 37,000, then the 11th teacher will also be having a salary that is less than 37,000. Because there are total 12 teachers having a salary less than 37,000. So 11th, that is a median, teacher will also have a salary that is less than 37,000. So over here, it's a number that is less than 37,000. So quantity A, that is 37,200 is greater than 37,000. Hence, quantity A is greater than quantity B. Now we have this diagram over here. So if we just extend this, if this is 44, then this angle would be 46. Now let's do it clearly. So then this angle would be 46. Now if we have a 45-degree line, if this is 5, then this is also, then y is also 5. So this is 5 and 5. Now if the angle is more, then the y is actually, we're going to give you a higher number. So if y is 5, then if your x is 5, then your y would be greater than 5. Let's suppose it's 6. I know it's not accurate, but just let's suppose it's 6. Now over here, if we have minus 5, then d would be minus 6. If we have 5 over here, the y point would be actually more than 5. Let's suppose it's 6. If we have these two numbers, if we have 5 and 6 over here, then over here it would be minus 5 and minus 6. So minus 5 and minus 6. Now we know that minus 5 is greater than minus 6. Hence option A is correct. Now the main point you need to understand is that if you have a line having a gradient of 1, y equals to x. So we have 45 degrees over here. And if there's a point, then x and y both be equal. Because the angle was 46, then the y would actually be higher. So 45, this is your 45. 45 gives you 5 and 5. So 46-degree line will actually going to give you a higher number in y. I know it's not, 6 is not an accurate number, but again, just for explanation. Now, n equals to 824 raised to power x, where x is a positive integer. Now, the number of possible values, the unit digit n. So, if we have 824 raised to power 1, this would be 824. 824 raised to power 2, I know that the unit digit would be 6 because 4 4s are 16. 824 raised to power 3, the unit digit would be, so 16, So 824 square multiplied by 824. So the unit digit over here is 6. So 824 multiplied by this unit digit. So 6 fours are 24. Again, it is unit digit would be 4. 824 is power 4 because over here it is 4. Again, if 4 is multiplied by 4, you are going to get 16, or the unit number would be 6. So there's a pattern 4, 6, 4, 6. So the number of possible values of unit digit n, they can only be 2. So actually 824 raised to power 0, we're going to give you 1. But over here, it's specifically it's written that x is a positive integer, and we know that 0 is neither positive nor negative, so we cannot use this. So the number of possible values of a unit digit would be 2, because they can be either 4 or it can be 6. So 2 is less than 4, hence option B or quantity B is greater than quantity A. So quantity X, quantity A, this is the expression, quantity B, this is an expression. Now we know that X is greater than 0. So it can be 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, but it cannot be 1. It can also be 2, it can also be 3, it can also be 1.1, but it is not equal to 1. So this expression 3x squared divided by, so 2x raised to the power minus 4 can be written as like this. So 3x squared divided by 2x to the power 4. So this can be written as 3 upon, slight mistake. So it's not 2x raised to the power minus 4. If it is 2x raised to the power minus 4, then we can write this as 2x raised to the power 4. But over here, it's 2 multiplied by x raised to the power minus 4 into 3x squared. Now 3x squared will remain same. 2 will remain same over here, and x raised to the power minus 4 will go in the denominator, and it will become x raised to the power 4. So x squared, this cancels out, and we get 6 divided by x squared. And over here, 4 ones are 4, 4 6 are, so we have 6 over x. So this x and x cancels out. So quantity A is 6 upon x squared, and quantity B is 6 upon x. Now if we have x equals to 0.5, then this would be 6 divided by 0.5 square, and this would be 6 divided by 0.5. Now definitely this number, 6 divided by 0.5 square, would be greater, because 6 divided by 0.5 is 12. 12 divided by 0.5 would be 24, because we need to divide 6 by 0.5 twice. And 6 divided by 0.5 would be 12. So quantity A would be greater than quantity B. But we need to be vigilant, because x is greater than 0, but x can also be greater than 1 as well. So x upon 2 squared and x upon 2. Now this would be 6 divided by 4, and this would be 6 divided by 2, that is 3. So 6 divided by 4 is 1.5. So 1.5 is actually less than 3. So we don't know either quantity A is greater than B or less than D. So greater than B or less than B. So we don't know. So hence option D is correct. Question 9, the length of a leg of an isosceles right triangle. So we make a right angle triangle. So we have this as x, this as x as well, with the area of R. So we can say half, and both of these sides would be same because it's an isosceles triangle. So half into x squared equals to R. So x equals square equals to 2R, and each side would be under root 2R. So this would be under root 2. So this would be under root 2R. Now over here, the length of a side of a square. Now let's suppose square we have y. So y is square and the area is R. So y equals to under root R. So each side equals to under root R. So this, the length of isosceles right triangle would be under root 2R, and the length of a side of a square would be under root R. Now quantity A will be definitely more than quantity B because R is being multiplied by 2. And we can also write this as under root 2 into under root R, and we have under root R. So quantity A is greater by a factor of under root 2. Hence option A is correct. Question 10. The relationship between temperature C in degrees Celsius and temperature F in degrees Fahrenheit is given by the formula. So this is your formula. Now, if a receipt calls for an oven temperature of 210 degrees Celsius, so what is the temperature in Fahrenheit? So F equals to 9 upon 5 into 210 plus 32. So 5 ones are 5 42s are 9 into 42, 9 into 40 is 360. So 360 plus 18 plus 32. So 18 plus 32 is 50. So 360 plus 50 equals to 410. Option C is correct. Question 11. Out of the students in a school, 20% are in science club. So in science club, there are 20%. And 30% in a band. So in a band, there are 30%. If 25% of the students in the school are in the band, but not in the science. So there's 100%, that means that there is an overlap. Because there are 30 students in a band. And over here it is written that if 25% of the students in the school are in the band, but are not in the science club. So it talks only about in the band. So if we have this as a science and this we have band, so only band is 25 and the total band is 30. So over here this should be 5. And out of the school, there are 20% in the science club. So if total there are 20%, then only science would be 15. So 15 plus 5 is 20 and 5 plus 25 is 5 plus 25 is 30. Now read the question very carefully. Now, what percent of the students who are in the science club, so what percent of the students who are in the science club, so how many students in the science club? 20, are not in the band. So 15 of them are not in the band. So 5 threes are, 5 fours are. Option E is correct. Question 12. Each year, the member of a book club selects novels and non-fiction books to read. The club meets 3 times to discuss each novel and 5 times to discuss each non-fiction book. So 3 times for novels plus 5 times for non-fiction books. They select. Later year, the club meets 52 times. So this would be equal to 52. So they are meeting 3 times for novel and 5 times for non-fiction. The total number, the time they meet is 52. And there are 12 books. So N plus non-fiction book equals to 12. So how many novels did the club discuss last year? So we need to find out this N. So non-fiction equals to 12 minus N. So 3N plus 5, 12 minus N equals to 52. So 3N plus 60 minus 5N equals to 52. So 3N minus 5N would be minus 2N. 52 minus 60 would be minus 8. So minus 2N equals to minus 8. N equals to 4. So the number of novels the club read last year was equal to 4. Now, if minus 1, so 0 is greater than y and y is greater than x and x is greater than minus 1. Which of the following shows the expression xy, x square y and xy square listed in order from least to greatest? Now, one thing for sure, xy would be a positive number. So xy most probably would be the greater of these 3. Let's suppose we take x as minus 0.9 and we take y as minus 0.1. So y is minus 0.1, that is greater than minus 0.9. So x and y will going to give us a positive number and these two will going to give us a negative number because negative square is positive. So positive multiplied by negative will going to give you a negative number. Negative number, so negative number, y is a negative number, so square a negative number, we get a positive number. So positive number multiplied by negative number, we again get a negative number. So either it is option D or E. So xy is positive. Now over here, this would be minus 0.9 square into minus 0.1, and this would be minus 0.9 into minus 0.1 square. So minus 0.9 square would be 0.81. So 0.81 multiplied by minus 0.1, we're going to give you minus 0.081. So this is minus 0.081, and minus 0.9 multiplied by 0.001. So 0.1 square is 0.01 into 0.9 would be 0.009. So minus 0.009. So the in between these two numbers, which is the larger one? So larger one is actually this one, minus 0.009. So if you make a number line, this is 0, minus 0.009 would be closer to 0 as compared to minus 0.081. So xy square would be greater than x square y. Hence option E is correct. Question 14, we have 5 letters G, H, I, J, K to be arranged so that G is the third letter in the list and H is not next to G. So either H can be over here or H can be over here, but H cannot be in these two positions. So these are the two ways which is possible. So how many letters are remaining? So there are 3 letters that are remaining. So this can be filled by 3 times. This can be 3 ways, 2 ways, and 1. So 6 ways through this and 6 ways through this. So 6 plus 6 equals to 12. So option D is correct. Now question 15, if J and K are even integers, J is less than K, so they are even integers. Which of the following equals the number of even integers that are greater than J and less than K? Now let's suppose we take 2, so this would be 4, 6, 8, and 10. So how many even, so this is let's suppose J and this is let's suppose K. So K is greater than J. So how many even numbers, even integers that are greater than J and less than K? So there are 3. So we have 3. So let's substitute J and K over here. So this would be 10 minus 2 minus 2 divided by 2. So 10 minus 4 divided by 2 is 3. So this is correct actually. So we have 3 numbers in between. Now there are other ways to solve this question as well. So let's suppose we want to find out. So the first term let's suppose is 2. The second term would be 2 plus 2 into 1. So this is your first term. This is your second term. The third term would be 2 plus 2 into 2. Now we can come up with the equation. So Tn, we want to find out the nth term. This would be 2 plus 2 n minus 1. So let's suppose we want to find out the third term. So this would be 2 plus 2, 3 minus 1, 2 plus 2 into 2 would be 6. Now if I want to find out the j term, so j over here was the 5th term, so we are taking this as k. So k equals to j plus 2 n minus 1. So we can write this as k minus j divided by 2 plus 1. This is equals to n. So k minus j plus divided by 2 plus 1. This is n. How many numbers there are in between? So if we have, now we know that n is 5. So how many numbers in between 5 minus 2? That is 3. And why we are subtracting 2? Because one number is this and the other number is this. So k minus j divided by 2 plus 1 gives you the nth number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But how many in between? 3. So we need to subtract 2. So we need to subtract this number and this number. So minus 2. So k minus j minus 1. K minus j upon 2 minus 1. So this can be written as k minus j minus 2 whole upon 2. So k minus j minus 2 whole upon 2. This is option A is correct. Which of the following is closest to? So under root 2.3 into 10 is to the power 9. So we can write this as 2.3 into 10 is to the power 8 multiplied by 10. So 10 is to the power 8 goes outside. This would be 10 is to the power 4. So 2.3 multiplied by 10 is 23. So we want to find out the closest one. So let's suppose we take under root 23 as under root 25 into 10 is to the power 4. So 23 would be very close to 5. So 5 into 10 is to the power 4 would be 50,000. So option A is correct. Now the interior dimension of a rectangular tank are as follows. So the length is, so we have a tank over here. So this is your tank. So the length is 110 centimeter, the breadth is 90, and the height is 270 centimeters. Now the tank rests on the level ground based on the assumption that the volume of a water increases by 10% when it freezes. So when it freezes, the volume goes up by 10%. So the volume equals to x into y into height. And when the water freezes, it goes up by factor of 1.1. Now, which of the following is closest to the maximum height in centimeter to which the tank can be filled with the water so that when it freezes, the ice would not rise above the tank? So we know that we need to fill the tank little less than to the top so that when the water freezes, it doesn't go outside so this should be the amount of water inside. So it doesn't topple. So how much space we need to keep? We know that the height increases. So the volume is x into y into height. So we need to have a certain height because we know that the volume will go up by 1.1. So height will also increase by factor of 1.1. Length and breadth will remain same. The height will increase actually by the factor of 1.1. So the total height we can have is 270. But the actual height should be a little less. X is your actual height because when it freezes, it will go up by 1.1. So x equals to 270 divided by 1.1. Or we can say 2700 divided by 11. So 11 2s are 22. We get 40. Sorry, actually 50. 27 divided by 2 is 50. So 11 4s are 44. We get 6. And this 0 comes up. And 245, we have 55. So 245 is your right answer. So point A and B are shown in the XY plane above. Point C is not shown in the above, is above x-axis. So point C not shown is above the x-axis so that the area of triangle ABC is 10. So this is your base. So what should be the height of a triangle? So half into base into height equals to 10. Base is 5. So 6 minus 1 is 5. So height should be 4. Now, what are the points which gives a point that is gives a height 4? So 0 and 4. So this is one number. So this is one triangle. So base is 5 and height is 4. This is possible. 1 and 3. So if this is the case, then the height is not 4. So this cannot be the case. So any figure that has y more than 5 or more than 4 or less than 4, that will not be sufficient for this triangle. So this will not be the right answer. This will not be the right answer. Yes, 3 and 4 will be the right answer. So 3 and 4, we have this number. So the height again is 4. So any point over here, any point. So we can have -5 and -4. So let's suppose we have this point. Again, the height would be 4. So the correct answer would be A and D. Okay, so in a factory, machine operates on a cycle of 20 hours of work followed by 4 hours of rest. And machine B operates on a cycle of 40 hours of work followed by 8 hours of rest. Last week, the two machines began their respective cycles at 12 noon on Monday. So they started their cycle in 12 noon on Monday and continued until 12 noon on the following Saturday. So it worked for almost 6 days. So 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, on which days during that period was there time when both machines were at rest? So we also need to know that last week two machines began their respective cycles 12 noon on Monday and continued until 12 noon on this. Okay, so let's do it for machine A. So it works for 20 hours. And then there is a break. Now let's use a different marker for the break. So then 4 hours for the break. So 24 hours have passed. Now this would be 12 noon of Tuesday. 12 hours have passed. Then again it will work 20 hours. And again there would be a 4-hour break. So this would be Wednesday. So this would be Wednesday, 12 noon. Now let's make it for machine B. So machine B works straight 40 hours. So this is 24 hours. So it works straight 40 hours. And now we also need to understand so this is 24 hours and 24 hours. So the total is 48 hours. So it works for 40 hours, then it has a break for 8 hours. Then both of them are set again. Both of them are set again. So on Wednesday, there is a point where both of them are not working. So Wednesday, they are not working. And again, at this point, they start at the same time. On Wednesday noon, they start at the same time. So if this is the point they start at the same time, they meet at Wednesday. And again, they start at 12 noon on Wednesday. They will going to meet on Friday. So there's a difference of 1 day. So option C and E would be correct. So option C and E would be correct. So they, because on Wednesday 12 noon, they start at the same time. So this is the point where they meet. So this is 24, this is 12 noon on Tuesday. So Tuesday finishes. So Wednesday we're going to start. So this is 12 noon of Wednesday. So what is 12 noon? 12 noon is like 12 o'clock. So if we have time frames, so this is 1 a.m., 2 a.m. So this is 12 noon on Tuesday. So 12 hours later, Wednesday will going to start. And again, after 12 hours, there would be Wednesday noon. So again, if we are meeting on Wednesday, and again the time is, they start at the same time on Wednesday, 12 noon. So they will again going to meet at on Friday. So there's a difference of 1 day. So option C and E are correct. Question 20. So each of the people in three groups gave the rating of product X on a scale from to 5. So these are the ratings. These are the number of people. For each of the group, the table above shows the number of people in the group and the average of their rating. What is the average of the rating of the product given by the 100 people in the three group combined? So basically, we need to find out weighted average. So 45 out of 100 gave a rating of 3.8. 25 out of 100 gave a rating of 4.6. And 30 out of 100 gave a rating of 4.2. So we just need to find out the 0.45 into 3.8 plus 0.25 into 4.6 plus 0.3 into 4.2 will going to give us, so if you calculate, so 0.45 into 3.8 would be 1.71. This would be 1.15, and this would be 1.26. So if you add all of them up, 1.26 plus 1.15 plus 1.71, we get 4.12. And we need to find out to the nearest 0.1. So 4.1 would be the answer. Now the first term in a certain sequence is 1. The second term is 2. And for all integers n greater than 3, so any integer, so any term that is more than 3, so the third term, fourth, fifth. So the n term is a sequence is the average of the first n minus 1 term. So if you want to find out the third term, it would be the average of 1 plus 2. So 1 plus 2 divided by 2 is 1.5. So we have 1.5 over here. Fourth term would be 1 plus 2 plus 1.5 divided by 3. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 1.5 is 4.5 divided by 3 is also 1.5. Fifth term would be 1 plus 2, 3. So 1 plus 2 plus 1.5 plus 1.5 divided by 4. So 1.5 plus 1.5 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 divided by 4 is again 1.5. So there is a pattern that is being emerged. A pattern is emerging. So the sixth term would be 1 plus 2 plus 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 1.5 divided by. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 plus 3 plus 1.5 is 7.5 divided by 5. That is 1.5. So 1.5 is 3 by 2. Question 22. In the winter, 2/3 of the cardinal sightings. So we have birds over here. So in winter, 30 of them were sighted. Cardinal birds were sighted and so on. In spring, 18 of them were sighted. Summer, 11 of them were sighted. And fall, 20 of them were sighted. So in the winter, 2/3 of the cardinal sightings, 1/2 of the junco sightings, and 1/4 of the sparrow sightings were in January. So we have cardinal, junco, and sparrow. So the total number of sightings were 30 plus 12, 42. 42 plus 60 is 62. Now 2/3 of 30 is 20. Half of 12 is 6. And 1/4 of 20 is 5. So 20 plus 6 is 26. 26 plus 5 is 31. So 31 of them were sighted in January. So what fraction of the total numbers of sighting of these three bird species in the winter were in January? So 31 divided by 62 is 1/2. So the correct answer is C. Now, for which of the following bird species is the standard deviation of the numbers of sightings shown for the 4 seasons least? So let's make a number line. So for cardinal, and so it's 11, 18, 20, and then 30. Again, there's a deviation, a lot of deviation over here. Let's do it for goldfinch. It is 6, 12, and then again 6, and 9. So 6 is coming twice over here. For Junko, it's 6. Then there's none, 0. And then 12. Again, there's a lot of deviation. So deviation is less over here. So it's 0, 2, 4, and 8. Again, there's some deviation. Then for Robin, it's 6, 12, 18, and 28. And for Sparrow, it's 19, 20, 22, and 23. Again, if you look, the deviation is not that much. So 19, 21, 20, 22 is 2, 20, 22 to 23 is 1. So either it would be Sparrow or Goldfinch. But again, if you look, if you come up with the mean, 6 plus 12 is 18, 18 plus 6 is 24, 24 plus 9 is 33. So 33 divided by 4 will going to give us 8.25. This is your mean. And for Sparrow, the mean would be 20 plus 19 plus 23 plus 22 divided by 4, that's 21. Now the deviation, so 20 deviating with 21 is 1, 19 is 2, 1, and 2. So the deviation is either 1, mostly it's 1. Over here, the deviation still is there. So deviation would be 6, 2.25, 12, 8 minus 2.5 would be 4.25. Again 2.25. So again, the deviation, the greatest deviation is 4.25. Over here, the deviations are less. So Sparrow, we're going to have the least standard deviation. Question 24, which of the following is closest to the average number of cardinal sightings for the 4 seasons? Cardinal is this. So 30 plus 18 plus 11 plus 20 divided by 4. So 30 plus 18 is 48, 48, 59, 49, 59, and 79. 59 plus 20 is 79 divided by 4. Approximately it will be 20. Option E is correct. Now, by what percent did the number of wren sightings increase from spring to summer? So where is it? Wren went from spring to summer. So 30 divided by 18 minus 1. So 30 minus 18 divided by 18. So this is 12 divided by 18. So 6 2s are 6 3s are. So 2 upon 3 is 0.667. Or we can say 67 to the whole percent. This would be 67%. Now in the end, kindly do a lot of practice so that you can get a perfect score. Thank you very much.